Okay, so this video is to show you how to make this mug, and it's called a mini mug because the dimensions of it are so small. So I'm going to start from scratch here. So the first thing is you're going to draw the base. So normally we put it on the green red. I'm going to try putting it on the blue red. So first of all, we want a circle. And the reason we want to make it so small is that you're not going to be drinking out of a plastic mug. You're just going to be using it as kind of a decoration. So the outside diameter is 25 millimeters. And then we're going to do the inside diameter. Now, typically we want to go 2 millimeters on each side just for printing thicknesses. So that brings it to 21 millimeters. From there we can finish the sketch and we can make the bottom. So we're going to select the bottom and we're just going to push it down 2 millimeters. So the printers I've been working with typically do better with at least a little bit of thickness. So you'll notice that the sketch gets turned off, so you just got to go open up your sketches and turn it back on. You should be probably familiar with that by now. And then we can extrude the top, the sides. So that's going to go up 30 millimeters in total. So we're already into it for 2, so that would be 28. So the handle, you've got lots of choices with your handle. One of the ways is to turn your origin on, turn your body off, and then we want to create a sketch on one of these 2 planes. So green and click. So we've got the middle of the shape, and so we're going to turn the body back on, and we want to be dealing with this geometry. There's a bunch of ways that you can do this, but I'm going to create a projection. So you've got your choice between sketches and bodies. I'm going to use the body this time. And now that I'm done that, I can turn the body off and I can kind of see what I've got. So your handle, you could use a circle. It might even be better to use a circle. I'm going to show you how to deal with an arc. So we're clicking on here and down here, and we're just going to use kind of a semicircle. Now this is like my 3rd or 4th one that I've made while trying to make this video. So you can use the offset tool. I've been going outward, which probably causes me some problems. Kind of staying with the 2 millimeter theme. So you'll notice that it's not turning blue. So what you want to do is you want to go into your, what was that, modify, and you want to hit the extend, and you'll see that that will fill it in, and now you can see that it shades in blue. So if you don't do that, that's going to be a kind of an issue. At this point we could probably finish it. You can turn your mug back on. There's different ways of doing this. I'm going to extrude it in both directions. So typically we go in one direction, but this one's going to be in both. And a mug handle, I think it could be 4 millimeters thick, so in both directions it's going to be 2. If that looks too chunky, you can obviously go in and change it. So this is a new body, so it's going to make the handle separate from the mug part, or the cylinder part. So I'm going to click OK. And if I was to zoom in, you can sort of see that it's not quite attached. One of the ways that you can do it, I don't know if you remember the chair video that you guys did, you can do an extrude. You can select that face and you can go to object, and that will finish it. The only problem with that method is it creates kind of a added piece, which when you fillet it later causes sort of a little bit of a weirdness. So I'm going to cancel out of there. And I'm going to take a look at my bodies. So I've got the cylinder part and I've got the handle part. So I can move this. Sometimes I make it a component and I can move it into the object, right? And so the optimal distance for moving it, I believe, is -0.5. So it's just a small amount in. And there's still two separate shapes at this point, but they are kind of in. I don't know if you can see it, but it has solved the gap problem. So now the next thing that you want to do is you want to combine those two. So I want the target body to be the mug or the cylinder, and the tool body is going to be the handle. Now it's trying to get it to cut. I actually want it to join, and it gets kind of confusing towards the end, and normally I would make a component and keep the tools, but I'm gonna not keep the tools. And at this point I've got them joined. So I just got one body, and when I turn it, when I turn the bodies off, I've got one component, and I've got, what do I got for bodies here? So I've kind of, so I'm going to keep the bodies on. So that's my component. So I have the mug. I can turn it off and it doesn't disappear. It has been causing problems when I turn the bodies off in total, so maybe I'll just turn off the cylinder part and keep my bodies on. Okay, so that's my situation. So the next thing is to put some sort of symbol or letters on it. So for that, you're going to create a construction plane. So you can just click on the icon, and I can go in and I can select this, or I can use the side of the mug. So if I come out, I don't know, 16, it should be good. And then I want to create a sketch. I got to make sure that I'm on that. So now I'm going to add the text. So it's just create text. You select where you're going to make the text, so somewhere in the middle. And for me, I'm just going to use my last name. And it's kind of remembered what I did last time, so that's fine. At this point, you can move it up if you want to or not, and center it, and then you're going to go finish. So then it's a matter of extruding. So there's a bunch of different ways to do this. You kind of set the direction. Instead of doing a distance, you want to go to object, and you select the object. And probably I want to offset. Let's see if we can do an offset here. So we want to offset, let's go with 1. And it should, so you'll see that there's a gap, so we're going to go with -1. So now it automatically cuts. So I think that that's what we want. So we're going to select OK. And so we've got pretty good. So we've got our name, we've got our handle. It worked out, so we can keep our bodies off just to make sure we know what we have. And so the only thing you have to do is fill it at this point. So there's a bunch of options. Remember that it's about 2 mils thick, so about 0.5 millimeter makes the top look good. I've been getting a little superstitious as far as what I do before I save, so I'm going to save. So this one is mini mug. Let's go 4, because I've been trying this quite a few times. And then it's just a matter of how much do you want to fillet your handle. I'm not sure which is better to do first, the all around part, but you can decide that. This handle might actually print without support. Typically you can do that with more of an arc. And then I think it was maybe 0.5. And so that looks good as far as I'm concerned. And then the fillet here and there. And let's try all of them at once. And so that's going to be 0.5. And that's not too bad. Okay, so that's our finished mug. You can add color. You could fill at the bottom, depending if you're going to use it or not, or print it. Sometimes when you print things, you want to have as flat as bottom. If you want it to look kind of nicer, you could just go with a small fillet on the bottom. And of course, the fun thing of adding an appearance to it. So you can just throw a color on it. And I think that will stop the video at that point. Okay, good luck with it and have fun.